Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today on future-proofing your enterprise, the role of low-code in modern IT strategy. I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to join before we get started. All right, it looks like most people are starting to pile in now. So as a quick introduction for everyone on the call who doesn't know me, my name is JJ McGuigan. I'm the product manager of App Builder here at Infragistics. And I'm going to kick off today's session. We'll go through a few slides. We'll discuss how App Builder can help you future-proof your enterprise and stay prepared to meet your organization's future goals. After that, I'll pass it off to the team for a quick demo. They'll showcase some new features inside of App Builder, and then we'll hang around at the end to answer any questions that you guys do have. So, as I was saying, here's today's agenda. And one of the reasons we want to have this call today is that we've been having more and more discussions with customers who are still using traditional coding methods. And when this comes up, we often ask them, what are the biggest pain points that you face in your development cycle today? And one of the items that they repeatedly come back with is they lack flexibility to easily alter or make iterations to their applications with traditional coding methods. So during our session today, what we're going to cover is how App Builder actually gives you the tools you need to stay prepared for the future and ensure scalability as your enterprises grow. So first thing we're going to look at is the limitations of traditional coding methods. And one of the big ones here is the hindrance to your developers' productivity. So with traditional coding, your teams are now being forced to go through a very time-consuming process, writing mundane, repetitive code, which could easily be automated had they been using a low-code tool. And as this happens, it then prevents them from being able to contribute to their team's success in other areas, writing custom code for more unique features to help build even more robust applications. And then as developer productivity goes down, it's going to lead to a longer development cycle as well. So traditional coding requires extensive, detailed code for every feature, every component, and this is going to extend your development time. So as your business's needs and technologies evolve, these long cycles are going to lead to a slower time to market, and that's going to make it more difficult for you to keep up with any innovations in the industry. So, and then the next one is the limited agility. So apps being built using these methods, they lack the flexibility to quickly adapt or meet new business goals. So modifying or scaling a traditionally coded app is to require a significant amount more time and resources than it would if you're using a low-code tool. And then, of course, all these items, they add up to an accumulation of technical debt. So over time, traditional code bases, they're going to accumulate technical debt, especially with the shortcuts being taken early in the process. So often, teams face pressure to meet deadlines, which leads them to taking shortcuts, and that in turn is going to lead to more errors, and it makes it more difficult down the road to incorporate any new technology or make any iterations because of the errors that they committed earlier in the process. So these are a few of the limitations, but let's take a look at how App Builder can actually help you accelerate your digital transformation. So this is one of the most important factors when future-proofing your technology is being able to easily go through a digital transformation without being a hindrance to your team's productivity. So what is digital transformation? It's about integrating new technology across different parts of your business to change how your organization works and deliver value to its customers. So one of the main benefits of App Builder, it's going to help you not only accelerate your digital transformation, but also accelerate your time to market as well. So how does App Builder actually do this? And one of the main ways is how you actually build your app. So with a library of pre-built drag and drop components, templates, and layouts, users can actually accelerate their time to market by 80%. So these reusable building blocks are providing common functionalities, user authentication, data management, UI elements, and this allows users to quickly assemble and integrate their projects. Another key benefit of App Builder is the increased agility. So your digital transformation, it's going to also require rapid iteration and adaptability. And with low code, it's going to allow for faster prototyping, faster user testing, refinement of your applications, and this is going to help your business remain agile and adapt to your changing customer needs or shifts in the business market as well. So, and then the next item here is the production ready code element of App Builder. So by generating production-ready code, it's going to help you future-proof your investments because it's going to maintain the compatibility with evolving technologies in the marketplace. So it's eliminating the need to rewrite extensive code, and that's going to reduce costly errors down the road. That's going to save you both time and money. So overall, this is how AppBuilder can actually, ensure that your digital transformation is not only easy, but you can achieve it much faster than you would if you're doing traditional coding methods. So now that we've discussed how these traditional coding methods are hindering your ability and how AppBuilder is going to actually help you alleviate those issues, how do we make sure that your apps are future-proof? So AppBuilder offers the ability to build scalable, adaptable applications. And we do this through 4 ways. Number 1 being seamless integration. So we're going to easily integrate with any emergent technology or new features. One example of this is the introduction of AI. We're seeing the emergence of AI across the marketplace, right? So this has actually been a new feature that we added inside of AppBuilder a few weeks ago. And as technology evolves, we're now being able to get these features into your team's hands faster without requiring any major rewrites or redevelopment. It's part of our continuous delivery. Every few weeks, as there's new technology out there in the marketplace, our team is delivering that right inside of AppBuilder. And then we're empowering the citizen developer. So as businesses are game planning their IT strategy, there's always a constant concern of this developer shortage. It's a thing that keeps getting brought up. But as a business leader, it's your responsibility to ensure you are well equipped to meet your future goals, no matter the case, even if there is a developer shortage. So this could mean democratizing your app development and empowering the citizen developer. So with low code, everyone on the team can effectively contribute to the team's success, and then this will curb the side effects of this growing developer shortage. So the role of low code in your modern IT strategy, it's always evolving. But with a tool like AppBuilder, you can ensure that your teams are prepared, remain agile, and are ready to adapt as technology does as well. So those are just a few slides I want to run over real quickly there. And now that we've discussed how AppBuilder is going to help future-proof your apps, I'm actually going to pass it off to the team, and they're going to show you how to do this inside of AppBuilder. So guys, if you want to go ahead.
Thanks, JJ. Let's take a look at AppBuilder and how you might be able to use AppBuilder in your organization to future-proof your web application development. The way AppBuilder works is you have a series of pre-built templates that we provide. These allow you to quickly get started with learning the product or picking any design and then simply changing it with your own data. So for example, if I look at the CRM application, it jumps into the AppBuilder editor. You'll notice I have my main page with my navigation on the left, my menu across the top. And as I look at each individual page here, I have screens that are basically made up. With AppBuilder, everything that you see in the WYSIWYG design surface has its own properties on the right-hand side. You have the object or document object layout on the left down here with the outline. I can jump over and look at all of the different components that ship with the product, all backed by Ignite UI in Angular, React, Web Components, and Blazor. You have your own data sources, variables across pages or on page, theming. This particular example is using a heading, it's a Lato theme. If I want to change it to an orangish PT Sans theme, I can do that with a single click. And then, of course, different digital assets that you might have. Now, over on the right-hand side, if I click the Run button, this is actually the running application. All of the objects on the screen are interactive. All of the screens are real. So when I look at the homepage, for example, and we look over at the code on the right-hand side, all of this is real production-ready code that makes up this application. You can add any types of interactions that you want, and you can use, of course, any of the components in the toolbox to create whatever your desired outcome is. Now, when it comes to future-proofing, I'm talking about production-ready code generation. You'll notice here you can choose any modern framework to generate the code for this application. So here I have Angular options for standalone or Angular modules. I can do Blazor WebAssembly or Blazor Server. I can do React or Web Components. So if I simply want to, say, hey, we're going to now start moving our applications to React from some framework, maybe it's Angular, maybe it's C#, .NET, doesn't really matter. I can just make sure React is my framework of choice. I can publish this application to GitHub, download the zip file. So here, if I want to use the licensed packages or unlicensed packages, I can do that. But for example, let's just publish this app to GitHub. You'll notice my name is CRM app. So I'm going to call this CRM app webinar. And I'll simply create this repository. This will be a public repository. And we'll click publish. So what this is doing is it's taking the application that is in App Builder, which is actually designed to what we call the common app model. It's pushing it up to the cloud to our code generation service, and then it generates the code in GitHub with a complete project. So if we look at this in GitHub, you can see I have my full project here. If I go into source and I go into app, we'll see all of the screens in my app. If I go over to home, we go to home.tsx, we can see all of the imports, all of the modules that are registered, all of our classes, all of our data binding, everything that we would need to actually start working on this app. And this is just straight up code. There's no secret code, no Ignite UI things to make this work with App Builder, none of that. This is just production ready code. So I'm going to copy my URL and let's go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code. We'll do a new code window. I'll do a Command-Shift-P. We'll do a git clone. I'll paste this guy in. We'll select that repository location. We'll open this up. And now I have the same exact thing in VS Code. So everything that we saw in App Builder, these were my screens that said, hey, start building. If I go back to my accounts screen, you can see all of the code that makes up my accounts. I have all the red squigglies. We haven't done our NPM install yet, but all of this grid code, all of the data binding code, all of the navigation code, like you don't have to worry about any of that. It's all done for you by App Builder. And if you're a React developer, you're looking at this and you're thinking, yeah, this is legit React code. This is basically how I would write it. So let's go to the terminal and let's just do our NPM install and we'll run this guy. While this is doing an NPM install, let's go back to App Builder and I'm going to go back to my main page here and you can see I've got my CRM app. There's my new app option. I'm going to click new app again. I'm going to go to sample app. I'm going to do the CRM app again, but this time I am going to call it -Angular. Whoops. Let me redo that, jump the gun there, call it -Angular. And in this application, I'm going to swap from Angular to Angular modules. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to publish it. I'm not going to add anything. We'll call this CRM webinar Angular. And I will create a repository. And we will do the same thing. We'll just click publish. And what I want to do here is just show you that you get the exact same app. Like there's one that's going to be now pixel perfect in Angular and one that's pixel perfect in React. Of course, we could have done Blazor. We could have done web components. It really doesn't matter. But when you think about future proofing, you always think about frameworks and what frameworks are we using? Can we switch frameworks? Oh no, our code base, we're tied into framework X, framework Y, etc. But here you can see now I'll go to my home page. I'll go to home component. Now I have straight up Angular. Here is the SCSS for the layouts. And here is all of the HTML for that app. All clean, production-ready code. No garbage in here. It's all really good stuff. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code here. Let's do an npm start. This is running at localhost 3003. And we'll let it start up. And you can see it has my beautiful orange theme with all of the components that we had in App Builder. If I click over to my accounts, here's my grids. I have my menus, my imports, my exports. I can select items. They're navigating to other screens. So this is navigating to a more detailed screen. go to my contracts, reports, tasks. These were all sort of just dummy screens. But you can see just like that, with a few clicks, I was able to create a brand new application that has a ton of features, and it's beautiful, and I have all of the code now in GitHub to future-proof my development. So next, let's take a look at this Angular app. I'm going to go here. I'm going to copy this. Let's open a new window, and we'll do a Command-Shift-P. We'll git clone this. Same thing. Open this guy up, and let's do the same thing. Let's go to terminal, do a new terminal. Let's do an npm install and npm start, and we'll let this do the exact same thing. While that's happening, that's Angular. That can take a second. Let's go back over to App Builder again, and I'm going to go back to my home screen. And what I want to highlight here as well is when you are looking at starting a new application, and I do a new app, I can choose from any template or sample app. We have a bunch of pre-built templates that cover all of the common app designs, or you can import Sketch and Figma into your application. So if I go to a template, for example, and let's say I want a template with a top menu, I'll select this guy. Now I'm right back into App Builder, but instead of having a pre-built app, I just have an application with 3 views, and my master view has simple navigation across the top. So if I run this and I'm selecting my navigation, I'm jumping between pages here. And then while you are here, for example, I'm on view 3, I can pick a layout. This layout can have any type of layout. We have Flex and CSS Grid layout support. So if I want to do a simple side-by-side, click Done. Maybe I want to do like a master detail. I can hit Control-E to bring up my components. I can grab a list control here. Maybe I'll do a Control-E again. I'll grab a grid control here. Now it's that easy to get going, and then I can select this. I can choose to do some data binding. Maybe there are some items here that I can do some data binding with. So I have all of my different data sources. Whoops, our Angular app popped up, and you can see that, again, it is the same exact beautiful application that we had in React, except this has the blue theme, and it is Angular. It's not React. So amazing how you can do that. Doesn't matter what you choose. This is the legit production-ready source code. But let's go back here where I was before. And in this case, I have a bunch of different data sources in my data dropdown. So I've got a Northwind data source, Northwind customers, Northwind cloud. So here I do have a few options that will give me some master detail. So I'm going to load this guy up with my customers, and I'm going to load this guy up with a Northwind cloud again. And let's pick the customer orders or something that has a customer ID as a parameter. So customer order history takes a customer ID. So you'll notice there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Let's go ahead and do some data binding. I want to show the company name on the title, and on the subtitle, I want to show the contact name. So there we go. I don't want to show the avatar, and I'll leave this here. But let's say I wanted to change this because I wanted some action, not the star necessarily. So let's do something like this plus. So now I have a different type of icon. So you can change all this out yourself. But what I want to have happen here is when someone selects the item in the list, I want to set a local variable. And that local variable is going to be called selected customer. So let's go ahead and type in selected customer. And it's going to be a string because that's what the customer field is. And then for the selected customer, I want to make sure it is the customer ID. So now I have this variable. This variable will also show up here on our variables pane, and I want to use that to load the grid. So I did select the customer order history, which is expecting a customer ID parameter. What parameter should I use? I should use the selected customer. Now when I run this and I select the customer, you'll see I have their products and the total number of orders they made for those products, just like that. You'll notice here too, this takes the whole list and makes it very long. We don't want that. Let's go back here to this column layout. And what we'll do is we'll tell this to overflow to auto. And now when I run this guy, it has a nice scroll bar and I get the same results. So there you have it. Very simple to do that sort of UI with App Builder. And again, I don't want to see this in Angular. I really am a React guy. So there is the React code with a simple change of selection, and then we could generate that code and go right back. So now we have our blue themed Angular app. We have our orange themed React app. And then in App Builder, we have our dynamic master detail app that I can decide framework of choice. I want to future-proof this application. And then let's say I want to make a change to my orange-colored app. Maybe management rejected my change of the orange theme. So let's go back to our themes. Let's change this to something maybe more standard. I'll use the Open Sans or maybe the Open Sans dark, fluent dark. And if I run this, I guess this looks okay. It's a little high contrast, but that's all right. I need now to update my code. All I need to do is publish this. What this does is it creates a tag for the pull request. I'm going to publish this back to GitHub. And now you can see that my pull request was created. Let's go here. I'm just going to merge this pull request. We'll confirm the merge. And now everything's done there. Now if I go back to Visual Studio, you'll see here I do have an update and it updates my app. So let's go back here. We'll look here and there we go. Now I have a dark themed app, no longer the theme that I chose, which was orange. And that's how easy it was. All of my functionality is still here, all the capabilities of the app. It just changed to that dark theme. So with that, you can see how using App Builder, we aren't forcing you down a path of choosing a framework. You don't even have to know your framework from the very beginning. We are generating that production-ready code. Doesn't matter how far you are into designing your app, what you've done up until this point, you can very easily change your framework of choice. You can always update your apps that you've already been working on. All of the code changes will synchronize to GitHub as pull requests. You can merge them as you'd like, and that is all it takes. So with that, let's go back to JJ and we'll wrap this up.
All right, guys, thank you for that demo. So I think that pretty much wraps up our time here today. I'm going to go ahead and push a poll live. If everybody could just take a few minutes and answer those questions, it really does help us out with any future releases and getting any product feedback. And also, if you want to try App Builder, you go to appbuilder.dev. You can also contact us for a personalized demo. You can reach out to me directly here with this email. Then you can also reach out to Jason directly as well. His email is jasonb@infragistics.com. You can reach out to either of us with any questions. And I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today, and we'll see you on the next session.